Hello, in today's video I'll be talking about the cell. So let us start with talking about evolution. So the definition of evolution is that it is the process by which different kinds of living organisms are believed to have developed from earlier forms during the history of the earth. We all know that there are few theories that say we come from apes or monkeys. What what is exactly this? This is evolution, right? So basically when the body adapts to conditions and changes it, it's called evolution. Okay? We have one of the scientists, that is Jane Landmark, who gave us the theory of spontaneous generation of species according to need and functionality of the mutation in 1801. And then we had Charles Darwin in 1859, who gave the theory based on survival of the fittest mutation. Moving on, characteristics of an organism. There are many characteristics of an organism, how we tell that whether this organism is a living organism or not. First of all, it's made up of cells, right? So cell is the smallest part. Cells make up tissues and tissues together make up organs, which in form makes the whole body. Next, it requires energy. Any organism requires energy, which is like for food, for example. Then the organisms reproduce by sexual or asexual methods. Every organism reproduces and then spreads its community. Every organism grows, okay, and gives responses. Like for example, it responds to the environment, right? Whenever you touch it, like for a touch me not plant, for example, when you touch it, it responds to your touch and closes. Okay. Every organism grows and develops. You can see a plant growing, you can see a human growing and changes in their body, etc. Organisms also exchange materials with the surrounding, like we precipitate or we take in oxygen and we got carbon dioxide, we exchange wastes and etc. Now we have five classes and or what you can say kingdoms. Okay, the first is Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Let's start off with Monera. Monera is basically a unicellular or prokaryote. Okay. So basically unicellular what? Which are single cell organisms, right? For example, like bacteria or algae we have seen. Okay. These are autotrophic or heterotrophic either. So autotrophic means basically people who make their own food. Okay, and heterotrophic are things that feed on other things. Like autotrophic can become plants, for example. They use photosynthesis and make their own food. And heterotrophic is like, for example, maybe leeches who suck on your blood, right? So body of a Monera, it lack well-defined nucleus and cell organelles. So basically, the nucleus is not well defined. It's like a liquidy nucleus, so it's not very enclosed, or the cell organelles are not enclosed with a boundary. Like example I gave you, bacteria, blue green algae, etc. Then we have Prostista. Again, this is a unicellular eukaryotic cell. Okay, these also are autotrophic or heterotrophic. Some organisms use pseudopodia or cilia or fungalia for movement. So basically, pseudopodia or cilia, such things are like cilia are like small hair-like structures that help it to crawl, and pseudopodia is basically when the cell changes its shape to move forward. Okay, for example, amoeba. We all would have studied about amoeba in our classes. Okay, then we move on to fungi. Fungi are basically multicellular and non-green eukaryotic, right? Fungi are non-green because we have studied about green things, okay, like which come from chloroplasts, etc. But these are non-green and they're multicellular. Till now we have seen all the unicellular. These are made up of different group of cells. They are saprophytic, parasitic, or sometimes symbiotic. So these actually feed on other things. Okay, like I told you about heterotrophics, like that. Parasitics are one that feed on other living organisms. Right. Fungus is made up of long filaments called hyphae. The network of hyphae is mycelium. Okay. Examples again are yeast or mushroom molds. Moving on to plantae. Plantae are multicellular and eukaryotic. They are autotrophic, like I told you, for example, plants that make their food using photosynthesis. It exhibits high level of tissue differentiation and has specialized body organelles. We have seen plants, right? It has specific organelles, like the leaves are there for collecting, for exchange of gases or collecting the sunlight. There are roots that are moving for exchange of water, that's moving the water upwards, etc. So basically, each organ has its defined, specialized thing that is supposed to do. Okay, like example again, I give you plants, trees, shrubs. Moving on to animalia, right? So in this is where we also come, and we come under animalia. These are multicellular eukaryotic, and we are heterotrophic. We can't make our own food. We have to like feed on other things, like we feed on, you know, uh, plants or animals. Exhibit high level of tissue differentiation and have specialized body organs. They have well developed nervous system. So we are a very developed and advanced being, right? And so are few animals and insects. We have very specialized body organs. Like we know our heart is there to pump the blood, our lungs are for breathing and respirating. So every organ has its specified thing and it works very well and it has a very good compatibility. That's how we are alive. Example like I told you, humans, fish, insect, birds, or anything you can that you can count in the animal. Moving cell. So basically, cell is the smallest living form that exists. So cell makes up tissues, and a group of tissues make up organs, and then organs make up the whole body. Right? Cells basically reproduce. Okay, when it reproduces, it's called meiosis, but when it multiplies, it's called mitosis. They are two different processes. Reproduction is when one cell, gives birth to the other cell, whereas multiplying is when one cell divides into two daughter cells or multiple daughter cells. Cells produce energy and very importantly cells keep information. They keep information about your body and about everything that your body has to do. The cell knows what it has to do. Like every 120 days, if I'm not wrong, the cell is supposed to die and kill itself, self-destruction. It remembers how to like fight with a particular virus if you have had it before. It develops an immunity. Coming to prokaryotes and eukaryotes, like we saw different classes, there were prokaryotic or eukaryotic. So basically, what are prokaryotic? Inside prokaryotic, we can see that the nucleoside region that is in the center of a prokaryotic cell, it contains the DNA, right? So the DNA is what decides how we look, how tall we are, how fair we are, or how is our eyes, what color is our body and everything. Now this is surrounded by the cell membrane and the cell wall, both actually. Then it contains ribosomes. So basically, it contains no membrane. Okay, the ribosomes without membrane in the cytoplasm of it, which helps it makes proteins, correct? And then we have eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells are cells that have a well-defined nucleus and a membrane-bound organelles. Like I have told you, like in humans, right? We have membrane-bound organelles and a well-defined nucleus. It includes plants, fungi, animals, etc. It is a very complex type of cell compared to prokaryotic cells. These are more complex type of cells. Now, thank you very much. That is it for this video. In the next video, I'll be talking more about the cell structure and their functions. So I'll keep you posted. Thank you.